and welcome back. This is Divine Mystical Guidance and Inspiration. My name is Carla. You can call me Carla. You can call me Sham. I do have some angelic names that I have picked up on the journey. One of those most popular ones is Sham. Some people call me Sham. So, whichever you choose to call me, you have options. Also on Facebook, people know me as Carla, Gaia Everlasting Love. And that speaks to the guidance that I give, the work that I do, and the mission as it stands for me. So, without further ado, I'm here to talk to you about what are twin flames or sacred soul partnerships. Pardon the background noise. It's a beautiful Saturday afternoon, and I have my window cracked a little bit to get some fresh air in here, and I was burning some sage and cleansing the room, and my neighbors are just kind of out doing things, and it's really nice. It's really nice. For those of you that may be listening that have been following me for, I don't know, the past 2 or 3 years. I have some people that follow me from the past 2 or 3 years. That's when my journey really took some crazy turns. And there was a long period of time, if you were in my Skyview group or my Gaia group, or you were a friend of mine on Facebook page, part of my soul family perhaps, you would have maybe saw me going through some rough times and going through some sad times where even my whole neighborhood seemed to be in like a depression or something. Anyway, it was rather dreary, and it has extremely improved. Extremely improved. I'm very happy with the turnout at this particular moment of now, after the past 2 or 3 years of ascension and some final phases of my journey. So with that, I'm ready to speak to you about the difference between and the likeness between what are called, very popularly known as and called, the twin flame, or as I like to call it, sacred soul partnership. Because we experience the twin flame connection individually and with our spiritual peers and soul connections and or soul family. And we have our primary partners, we have our secondary and third partners, just the way that I like to list them out, all depending individually on where you are in your journey. Now, for me, because I am here to be a Gaia channel and do a multitude of things to help guide the collective, I've been given a lot of experiences in the relationship department. Very beautiful how Spirit does that for us. And very divine in the sense that it offers you a rich and somewhat lengthy twin flame experience to go on to. Thank you, sweetie. Oh, thank you. You're so sweet. To guide your okay, we keep losing a little bit of connection, so if I'm skipping out and things like this.
Hand it up for me.
For being quiet. So, I'm not Let me get on to where I was because I got distracted with the camera disconnecting the way it was doing. So I'm not the authority on any of these things that I'm going to talk about. This is purely my own perspective and my own expression and my own passion and creativity. I do not wish for this to be repeated, reused, as your own in any way. I do claim intellectual rights to all of my divine mystical guidance and inspiration teachings as Yeshua, Princess of All, as a title. That helps me in my branding of my ministry, guys. It's not me being arrogant or having more ascension names. I actually do have a ministry. And in that ministry, I have a healing circle. I have a couple of healing circles in which I manage online. And we just do some urgent prayer work and some regular prayer work and healing work and healing art sharing and connecting.
Can I tell you something?
Yes, baby.
Can we go to my friend's house?
Maybe after my video, I'll go see, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, honey. Go watch your cartoons for mommy like you were. It's mommy's work
I'll
time.
go get my friend this because
I'm gonna have to fix my video if you keep talking. Shh. You can talk to me after. Thank you.
Okay.
She's getting so much better at that, guys. If any of you guys have been watching me, you know that I have a couple of kids and my kids don't like to really like step aside. I work from home. So they're getting used to it. I have my own office now and I have it set up, my little sacred space, so I can come and do things like this and come and have time with myself and meditate and pray and keep up with all of my mommy duties. And I have an office next to my kitchen that I set up to keep myself all organized, and I've been trying to clean up and feng shui my house. If anybody's interested, that's part of my synergy challenge, and that's part of what I regularly do, talk about and guide people on. I'm not a feng shui, I'm not a professional feng shui consultant, but I do have a feng shui page. And on that page, I just kind of teach you the basics. It's just everything's there collected for you that I found, that I loved, that helped me, or that I do find that I love that helps me. Then you can pop over there and you're in the mood to feng shui. Carla said the feng shui in the chakra balancing video or in the reading. So let me go over to this feng shui page. Carla said work on my third eye. So therefore I have like a space for that. And then if we're doing some mystic, I call it mystic meditation work, then I have a page for that. And then I have a page for more advanced and some of my closest circle. We have a group and a page called Awareness Library. And so those are some of the things that I do with my collective, just so you know. But this is a little different, and I do have a page dedicated to twin flames and spiritual soul partners and soul family, all three topics. And it's called Some Share Love. And those are all things you can find through me if you take me up on my guidance offers and readings and things of that nature and you're interested in my ministry. So that's what all I offer, just to be, totally off the topic and jumping around. That I apologize for, but we are in a spiritual environment, in a creative and passionate environment, in a free-flowing, free-spirited environment. That's what I wish to bring, and that's what I wish to create. So if I jump around a little bit, I do apologize, but again, this is freedom. This is spiritual freedom. So again, I was saying, this is my spiritual, passionate, creative, intellectual property and information that I'm sharing with my collective. I'm happy to do so, and I appreciate any feedback or interest. And if this helps anyone and you choose to let me know, I deeply appreciate that, and I'm very, very grateful. And that's what I hope for, is that it helps someone. or that you resonate with it, and we find another reason to then connect and learn and grow together on this ascension journey. So if you're listening to this video, you are on the spiritual, enlightened, and awakened ascension journey. And with that, a lot of people do come to a place where they need to understand, what do they mean by the work? And what do twin flames mean? What are sacred soul partnerships? Generally, it's what are twin flames? And what do we do? And what's next? And things like that. Well, the more you're in alignment with spirit, the more you're going to have these soul partnerships occur and have these soul partnership encounters, twin flame encounters, soulmate encounters, and things like that on your journey. And that's how you grow, and that's what's next, and that's what moves you through the journey. And you find these soul flames, these twin flames, soul flames, twin partners, and you do have your primary partner, because everybody um, you know experiences love and partnership in that way, not just friendships and family. Of course, we have our love life. So this covers all of the above. But I'm just going to lay a little bit of stuff out there for you to help you understand from my perspective and experience what is a twin flame, and some other stuff to go with that information too. So a twin flame, and I just want to read it the way that I wrote it. I was doing some channeling, and I was doing some thinking back on the past 2-3 years, and some other soul work too recently, looking back further. But at any rate, so let me begin. Here we go. So before I dive really deep and go straight into what twin flames are, let me quickly explain for the masculine, because the masculines often are confused or interested or wanting some direction in terms of what's next and what is this soul work, what is this work. This generally happens for the masculine when he's had a deep soul experience, or he's met his twin flame partner, or he's had some sort of sacred spiritual connection or partnership or experience, something that has transformed his thinking, his being, and now he's on a spiritual journey. He's usually in the full position. Same with the divine feminine. So let me quickly explain that the work is discovering your soul's purpose in life, mastering yourself, mastering the yourself through grounding, chakra balancing, development, study. If you have trauma, you're going to be healing trauma. If you're sensitive, you're going to be healing wounds and understanding what being targeted is. There are many levels of targeted. I do speak of spiritual targeting, by the way. That's the work. That's, in a nutshell, that's the work, including twin flame dynamics. And I would include twin flame dynamics right up there with sensitives and learning what targeting is and healing trauma and wounds, because twin flames are generally more sensitive, and they generally have really tough journeys. They're also generally very, very much attracting from a high vibration. They're very high vibrational spiritual beings. They are all old souls in star seeds. No twin flame is not an old soul or a star seed. That being said, a lot of the twin flames, old souls, and star seeds have experienced a lot on the journey. So by the time they come into physical union, you don't hear them, see them necessarily always running around in the spiritual twin flame community or the enlightened light worker community, unless they are volunteer souls here to guide other souls and teach other souls and help other souls with their ascension. So for those, there are a certain number of teachers, guides, way showers, readers, and people who help along in the journey. And that's always changing and shifting. Everything's always changing and shifting. That's the way it is. But we're basically here mastering the twin flame dynamics, chakra balancing, grounding, development. We're mastering all this stuff. We're mastering our healing. We're mastering ourselves. We're mastering our traumas, our wounds, our sensitivities. We're doing soul development. And let me go deeply into this now. Okay. So, eventually, the divine feminine and divine masculine come into balance and they gain this overall, what I call the overall 360 awareness. It's their tempered nature, and they have also attracted, manifested, and are experiencing or coming into experiencing mature spiritual union with God, and they're living that out sovereignly in a state of true oneness. Okay. And they're partnered with the divine. And for some, in the partnership with an opposite or a sexual partner, that's for some. And that's usually more at the end of their journey, or the few that come together physically to help anchor in more love and guide more of the collective. Okay, and so some of those are in the back scenes. They're not necessarily all entrenched in the Lightworker Collective, but they're there. So for the original twin flames, these are the ones that incarnate in order to come into physical union and have this experience that I just spoke of that results in the physical union. Or deeply, deeply expansive and large journey where they're unioning with God and probably physically coming into union. There are those few that are extremely dedicated. They never come into physical twin flame unions, but they come really close through God. They come really, perhaps they are physical for a while. So these, even though they are high vibrational, they do have their variances. And here are some of the differences, and here are some of my understanding. So again, this is my understanding, my perspective, and my expression, soul experience that I'm sharing with you. And this is my expression, creativity, and I claim all rights to my expression and continue to be as your teachings. However, some of this is coming from what I've learned from the teachers and guides who preceded me, but overall, generally, this is my own personal experience, okay? That's something I want you to know. So for the originals, the original twin flames, the true twin flame soul partnerships, they generally will not incarnate. I did not want you to miss anything. My camera was reconnecting, so you did not miss anything. So for original twin flames, they generally do not, in lifetimes where it's not possible for them to come into physical union. It's not a rule, it does happen, but especially for this, most twin flame couples will come into physical union at some point after they have unioned through self and connection to the divine source, or simultaneously. It all depends. So I've already kind of covered that. Now this next part's going to cover people who choose to have the twin flame expansive 5D soul journey, but they don't necessarily come into physical union. Or this will also cover people who are same-sex partners, and it will cover a couple of other things. And this is just my perspective and my experience throughout the years in relationships and in working with other couples and lovers and twin flames and soulmates and on and on and on. Leaders, guides, way showers, and healers, on and on. So I've worked with a lot, and I'll tell you more about all of my work and who I've worked with throughout my videos, so we won't go too deep into that, but there's a lot of experience this is coming from. Okay, so originals do not incarnate as same sex generally. They don't generally do this. However, side note, in this particular ascension, at this particular time on the planet, with the given awareness and the level of spiritual advancement that has occurred, there are now twin flames who are same sex. And let me go a little further into this, okay? So, original twins don't generally incarnate in a lifetime where there's no possibility of coming together. But it is 2018. There are these possibilities of very successful, spiritually mature, moralistic, even. Some people don't think of them as moralistic, but they can be very moralistic individuals, same sex partners, okay? So, on the twin flame dynamic, they are generally very, very moralistic people. And there are some. Okay, so let me not go too deep into that. It's a little controversial, but I just need to share and express this for those who are interested. So, because they don't generally do this, also because it's such a huge burden on the relationship, and twin flame partnerships are the partnerships where we incarnate to come into physical union. They're already very challenging. So, to add the burden of same-sex partnership wasn't necessarily something twins chose to do, but they do more now these days in these energies and in this awareness and in this and in this day and age. Let's just put it that way, in this day and age. Shh, baby. I'm working. So, twin flames, and then this is where I began to channel, and I was with Shamuel. Thank you, babe. I was channeling a little bit of Shamuel energy today, and this is what I was pulling through here. So, but also to when they incarnate as twin siblings or twin strangers or family members, these souls are rare also, and they union in sacred original twin flame souls. This happens too. So these would be twin flame unions that are happening at a deep soul level with higher awareness and deep resonance with each other. And they may be siblings, they may be strangers, and they may be also a rare connection in the twin flame Christ consciousness, okay? Because these connections are also occurring on the higher plane and within the Christ consciousness of the planet, okay? So, if you're listening to this video, I assume that you are at least aware enough of what Christ consciousness is, and you have some energy awareness and things like that. If you are not aware of those things, you can get with me for guidance and learning. I do have spaces and lots to teach you. You can always get with me, but let me continue here. So, original twin flame souls, they have a diminished flame sometimes when it's not completely diminished, but it's more diminished if they're incarnated as strangers or in these other unions. So, they'll go through things that they have to go through in order to raise their vibration and frequency and then ascend more, and they may have a longer struggle. And so these are also rare because generally souls don't want to take on that kind of a burden. However, because this ascension is the way that this ascension is in 2018 with the awareness that we have on the planet, and if you don't know what ascension is, again, that's one of those things that we can discuss more of. I can answer questions, do videos, point you in the right direction, and I have spaces for us to learn together. So if you don't understand some of the terms I'm using or some of the things I'm talking about, just know that I am a teacher and a guide. So you can always get with me and ask questions about anything, okay? So they will go through certain experiences within their monad soul family, and these will be flames that, in a sense, they go through more of the God union of the sacred union with God as an infinite God, and they become top in their monads and top leaders, or very sovereign and very grounded. Okay, some of these are the ones that end up in some of the more sacred journeys and more of the teacher, prophet type of things. Okay, so that's going a little too off the deep end, and I want to pull it back. But let's pull it back because it's entirely possible that they can, by miraculous destiny, perhaps a group manifest destiny, incarnate as same sex or siblings and have very successful journeys. Okay, siblings, family members, soul family members, friends. These are those rare old souls star seeds, just saying. And I'm kind of part of that group. I'm part of that first two that I just covered, except for that I'm heterosexual. I do have a lot of bisexual and gay friends and family members that have come into my journey and that I've known all through the years. So that's where that some of that experience is coming in. Anyone can manifest a twin flame union. Okay, anyone. That is possible. You do not have to be born with a certain level of knowledge or born to come into physical union with another human being to manifest a twin flame union. Okay, that's my experience, and I'm standing by that. Anyone can manifest a twin flame union, and it's possible that every one of us has a twin flame. That's where I stand on this, okay? So, regardless of the twin flame journey, regardless of all this, regardless of everything, twin flames are assisted by the universe. They're guided. They have lots of angelic assistance. Some of them are very powerful. Again, old soul star seeds and light workers. This is no cakewalk. Even the most elevated soulmate relationships and elevated people and connections seem to have very hard work, and it's necessary to experience for both parties lots of soul lessons, lots of self development, lots of healing, lots of enlightenment on each individual soul journey. Okay, this is all sacred union that includes God, Christ consciousness. For me and other fishers of men, okay, this is how my channeling was coming through because Shamuel has been talking to me about how I was chosen as fisher of men. Um, so that would be those of us who are perhaps more on the spiritual religious side, as far as we've studied a lot of religious text and we're helping people with understanding, breaking down those paradigms, breaking free of certain programming and lower level influences of religion and spirituality, making sense of it all, guiding others through it all, making sense of it all for ourselves and others, you know. We're teachers and prophets and guides in that way. So we're kind of on the rainbow bridge. That's what I call it. The rainbow bridge, teachers, guides, way showers, light workers, and some of us being fishers of men. So we really walk really closely with Jesus Christ and some of the other ascended masters and angels in order to guide people back to the light. Okay, so, and also we have an awareness of the planet and the planetary consciousness and the 144,000 frequencies on Gaia. So we would be on the rainbow bridge. Some of us call ourselves way showers, some of us are gatekeepers, teachers, guides, all these things, right? That's when all of us who are that fall into that, we have all experienced twin flame. We have all experienced this as a all sacred union that includes God and Christ consciousness. All right. So that's who we are. That's who we do, and that's who we guide, and that's who we work with. We work with people on that level and who want to experience that level, or who are destined or fated to experience spiritual journeys, go on deep spirit. We guide anyone. It doesn't have to be that we only work with our own kind. We guide all souls as fishers of men. We help prepare all souls It doesn't matter who. But some of us might be a little more on the rainbow bridge. Like I'm saying, I'm on the rainbow bridge. I have a rainbow bridge in which I'm working on very multidimensional levels. Okay. And like I said, I work primarily with soul partners, ascended masters, Jesus Christ, and stuff like that. So that's what I call myself in that category. Definitely experiencing the twin flame partnership. Let me keep going. And our primary soul partner, even an incarnate twin soul, comes after the union and development with Jesus, Yeshua, as a partner for us, okay? We may meet them before, during, or after, but the twin flame, our physical twin flame union, if it becomes physical, it will happen after you union with Christ consciousness, in the sense that you will have a born again experience and know Jesus through his sacrifice, all right? And so that would be a sacred twin flame partnership. And those are a lot of the people who I guide. Some of them, again, coming into physical union. A good majority of them don't always come into physical union until they have separation. So because they truly are committed to the journey, and they're very compassionate, generally old soul starseeds. Okay, some people have a hard time wrapping their head around that. Why would two people stay apart? Why won't they come together? Can we help them get together? And they push it, but sometimes when we fall in this category, and it doesn't have to be that you follow Jesus, but you follow some ascended master, or you're having some deep union with the Lord or God, or you're really deep in your journey, okay, they will have the twin flame. They will have the twin flame partnerships and experiences, but as far as physical union, it may go very differently for them. That is very hard for some. That's something I guide with a little bit, because that's some of what I've experienced, where your union with God is so deep and penetrating and all fulfilling that you are able to stay apart from physical union for a long time and help a lot of people and do grand mission, do great things, and then you can come in. And some of those partnerships, guys, this is why I was getting this channeling. This is what Shamiel was saying. Some of those partnerships have completed their deeds. There's something we call twin flame deeds in the angelic realm. We call this twin flame deeds. And I've discussed this with Raphael, Shamiel, and Gabriel a lot about the deeds, and Michael too, when he gave me directives and I learned about the deeds. They have completed the Rainbow Bridge, which is where the deeds are. That's what the deeds create. They create this huge, beautiful Rainbow Bridge. A new covenant promise between the higher Christ conscious collective and humanity. These things will occur, and this is completing the twin flame journey and the twin flame deeds, which is not discussed all that much in my experience with others, but this is how I discuss it, explain it, and experienced it, and was told it through channeling with Shemuel, is that the Rainbow Bridge being built has happened. Our bridges have been built. The angels just tend to call it, when I'm channeling, they just call it the Rainbow Bridge, and then I know who that means. And in that Rainbow Bridge, there's something called Sacred Akash, which recently I did some work on my mission and unlocked some more of my own abilities. And I now have some things to introduce from that, and that was part of completing my twin flame journey and deeds, and my Rainbow Bridge, and my union. So now, because of this, and because of where my twin flame union is, I will be looking at a physical union, and so will a lot of other Rainbow Bridge builders and way showers and gatekeepers and realm walkers, and some of the older souls, some of the souls who've sacrificed and stayed on the journey and really been growing a lot. We're going to get to see physical unions. We're going to get to experience these physical unions and an even more expansive, beautiful, miraculous, just miraculous union time reunions. And this is all upcoming, okay? Very upcoming. Let me keep going though. That was kind of an energy report that I had to throw in there for those of you listening. So thank you for listening so far. So we have our primary soul partner, and we have our primary soul connections and soul family. And we have those who fall in the category of the Rainbow Bridge. Those would be the meek on earth, the natives, the old souls, and the way showers. The poets, the singers, all the ones connected to Gaia, of course, all the ones within the 144,000 Christ Consciousness Collective who have been building the bridge, completing their work, and they discovered their purpose, they got on the journey, they stayed on the journey, and everybody's kind of in different places, but we get our directives from Archangel Michael. We are in touch with the angelic realm, all of us on the Rainbow Bridge, just saying. And a lot of them are shamans, angelics. Okay, so there's a lot of promptings, there's signs, there's downloads, there's rainbow uploads, there's integration, there's advancement, there's upgrades, there's light body expansion. So this is more about the work and what the work is all about. So while we're pulling one another from density, there's a longing and there's struggle, but there's mastery required. We master 3D, 4D, and 5D for soul preparation. Integration therapy, healing, readings, activations, soul connections, advancement through experience and learning. Walls must come down. Structures and paradigms come down. More 5D heavenly anchoring in on Gaia as transmutations and transformations, timeline shifts, shiftings, energies, ascension, all continues with the 144,000, the original twin flame, no matter how toxic a connection is. There's a push-pull. There are situations that ensue. Twin flames also help one another and emerge even more from density. This dance can ensue for years, and they do wind up in divine union, which is eventually physical. Physical merge does happen, but always this happens on a soul 5D level first, then in physical 3D, 4D, 5D, 4D, 3D, 5D. So that's kind of how it goes. That's a spiral in multidimensional way that I was channeling that today. It's kind of Metatron started coming in too. So these are everlasting soulful unions is what I wanted to call them during this channel, because they're expanded, they're mature, and they're lasting, and they're undeniable, and they've been really hanging in there on the journey. We're going to see some of those unions, and it's going to be beautiful. So then that's my explanation of twin flames via what I could explain and via a channeling where the angels kind of helped me bring it all out in a way that made sense to me. So I hope that it made sense to you. If you don't understand what Gaia is, or transformation, transmutation, ascension, any of these big words that I use, that's my light language. That's what I use in my teachings. That's what I use to help guide others. I use in channelings for markers. And these are words that I consider markers on the journey. And then they'll be used as words that I resonate and understand, that the angels resonate and understand, and also that my collective can resonate to and understand. Sorry to show you all my laundry. That is my clean laundry. This is my sacred space that I share with my walk-in closet. I have a walk-in closet over there, and I've been pulling out all my winter wardrobe. The thing that holds my phone up popped off. Sorry about that. So we're mastering ourselves. We're mastering 3D, 4D, and 5D. We're doing all this soul mastery, all this multidimensionality. We start learning about instant manifestation, 5D, peace, bliss, tranquility. We have experiences with oneness, gnosis, knowing, living in the light, exuding light, expanding souls from a mastered third and fourth dimensional, flying through life, flowing through life, ability to help others, and self-mastery, godly living, no lack living, no density high. That would be where we're headed on this journey, what we're trying to anchor in and what we're living in and experiencing, all, like I said, in different places on the journey from 3D to 5D, 3D, 4D, 5D. You have to tap into 4D and 5D to be on the twin flame journey because you're tapping into Christ consciousness, which includes all dimensionalities. All right, so also, I have a new word. Again, none of these words or terms I wish for anyone to repeat as their own, and some of this is handed down. Some of these terms are light language handed down from my soul family and people who preceded me, but some of these terms are mine. One of these new terms that I'm using, besides synergistic, is synergiatic. And I got that when I was channeling Archangel Michael and Gabriel the other day. Synergy and synergistic came together with the Gaia frequency, and I had this little moment and this channeling, and there was this word that popped up on the talk text. I'll explain what the talk text is if you ever ask, but you may hear me say talk text. And talk text is the talking that activates sometimes when I'm doing channelings and I'm on my phone or my device. Usually happens when I'm on my phone, by the way. It's synergiatic. Synergiatic. So it's synergy Gaia frequencies that we experience, and I came up with a word called synergiatic. And anyway, that was just interesting. I had a name for what I was experiencing, what I call my Gaia experience. So let me just end that with that's something cheesy about me, whatever, synergiatic. So it's all about Gaia for some of us who are on that rainbow bridge. And on that rainbow bridge, when it's about Gaia, we are very much tuned into Gaia and resonant with her frequencies, and we are tuned into the shamanic resonance of the planet, which is called the Schumann resonance. So healers are tuned into the shamanic resonance. And some people, it is technically called the Schumann resonance, but I call it the shamanic resonance because it's a resonance that's basically governed by the Christ conscience frequency that surrounds the planet due to human conscious awareness and combined with cosmic galactic godly awareness. Let's just put it simply. Not put it simply, but use some light language on that, some simple light language or some not so simple light language, however you receive it. It's up to you. So if you're tuned in with Gaia, you're tuned into the galactosphere. And if you're tuned into the galactosphere, then you are most likely a divine channel. You're most likely seeing the numbers. You're most likely in tune with Archangel Michael and the other angelic realm. You're having some 4D experiences. You're learning about manifesting. You're having ascension symptoms, and you're on that twin flame journey. Okay, that's pretty much what that boils down to. Therefore, we should meet because I'm a guide. And if you're listening to this, again, thank you for listening. This is my own personal experience and teachings. Let's go a little bit deeper. I want to cover what is ego attachment and soul ties a little bit. These things can be manifested or they can come in from past life, from your karmic experiences as a soul. And that's when past life comes into the journey, and we feel something that we're shifting our paradigms and thinking about as we go along and as we learn and as we experience, and as some of us are able to channel more and know more from the galactosphere and from the multiverse, which is the multidimensionality of Gaia, by the way. So it's her Akash, and what I recently just experienced was a final completion and opening of what's called Akashika. And this I won't go too deeply into, but this again is a term that I've been given from the angelic realm, from my spiritual guides, and this is what we are calling it. I do not wish for other people to use this term unless you've been a part of my teaching and my ministry, and then have been, or if you already happen to be channeling or using that term as something. Some people call it Akash. I call it sacred Akash, and this is the Akash work that I do, which now is fully expanded and open before for me a little bit more. So calling it for my guidance is Akashika. And so with Akashika, I'll have my own light language frequencies, teaching, and guidance that will resonate with the collective, with what other people have to teach, but with my own kind of spin, my own kind of synergy. I call it my own synergy. Okay. And so that's what I'll be bringing to the table in the Twin Flame Collective. And I'll explain more about mastering the twin flame dynamics as I do my guidance and readings. So, if you are experiencing ego attachment soul ties, which are manifested from past life and karmics and from timeline connections, sometimes you pick up hitchhikers, I call them. They're karmics in this lifetime that you will pick up along the journey. Sometimes you'll need to break ties or cut cords, and I recommend doing these through rituals, through meditation, through learning and stuff for 30 or 60 or 90 days, depending on what type of experience you had. If it's past life, if it's narcissist, you want to go 60, 90 days. But if it's just an encounter or a short, I call them hit and run karmics, then you might, 30 days of soul integration, clearing, and breaking ties. So that's some of the work I help people with, by the way. So you want to do that through full moon cycles and new moon cycles, and with some guidance and with some meditation, prayers, and working with your guides. And some of you go through this when you're going through dark nights of the soul, death and rebirth, and that kind of thing. It just depends. And if you're breaking habits to things, you want 40 days. First 21 days, then 40 days of clearing, energetic work. I call it. That's what I call it. And so if it's a lesson or a person or a thing, it still persists and continues after all of the things that I do with you and that you learn and you do, and all the mastery that I can help introduce you to, then you have to step it up, add more prayer, meditation, guidance, and then see why this action hasn't disconnected, this attachment hasn't left, the cord hasn't been cut, because it could be a twin flame. It could be a soul connect, and then you need to take action. And that's where you'll need guidance. And then you want to start off on a better foot from there with lots of spirited assistance, also recommended for spiritual center, spirit clearing and targeting experiences. So that's some of the work that I do in my clearing work, and then, that I offer. Just letting you know.
Also, you're so long for your mommy.
Almost done with my video, baby. I only have 5 more minutes or so, okay? So that's all of the explanation that I can offer at this time on what twin flames are and sacred soul partnerships, soul family connections. Your soul family connections aren't necessarily physical either. They're not necessarily your buddies. They're not necessarily the people who you share a sign with or you hang out with every day or your immediate family. That's not necessarily your soul family. But sometimes it is. It just depends. And there might be shifts and changes on the journey. You need to be quiet. You do that for mommy. Okay? Be very polite. She's being very polite and patient with mommy. Yes, you are. Thank you. You're going to. Okay, so let me finish off this video and tell you what I'm working on at this time. And not only am I doing the free oracle guidance for people in the healing prayer circle and some of the awareness guidance, I'm also doing something called a synergy challenge. And this is special. It's just a little special something that I'm doing for my collective and for the growth of my ministry and business, and to reach others, basically. A bit more with what I have to offer.
Mommy, is this real?
Yes, it's a real shell, baby. Shh.
From the beach?
Yes. It's called my Synergy Challenge. And the Synergy Challenge is to help you with basically everything you just heard me mention and talk about, including breaking soul ties and habits, expansions, downloads, and everything. All of that, as much as you're interested in any of that. I have transformation packages and things like that, and I bring some of that work into the Synergy Challenge. Some of the work that I already do, I have it set up and I have a program that we do together. It's real simple. It really is very simple. And it doesn't cost, it's very affordable. And the bulk of the money that you even put out to be a part of the Synergy Challenge is buying the oils products, the synergistic products that I offer. And some of those products are essential oils, right? You can get your essential oils, or you can get your hemp seed CBD oils. You buy those through me. And then there's a small fee for the to be a part of the Synergy Challenge, which is 40 days and 40 nights. During the Synergy Challenge, you're going to get in perfect alignment. You're going to learn and develop. You're going to experience what you need to experience individually to get grounded to Gaia and get in that perfect alignment to really see a change in your life, to really shift things from a spiritual perspective, shift things and become aligned, okay? And you're going to love the experience. You're going to love what I put together and what we do together. It's 40 days. We have a group. We have a little, I do a free consultation. So you can always get with me and see if we resonate. And if we resonate, then you just come be a part of this experience and you get these products. I will give you free guidance on how to use them. And anytime you don't want to be a part of the Synergy Challenge, you can back out. You're not going to lose anything. It's a small contribution to the challenge. It's basically a donation towards the ministry. It's not even what I would consider a fee. And then you just come on over and we go through 40 days of looking at and discovering your soul purpose and helping you become perfectly aligned. And if there's any habits or attachments or things that you're dealing with that you weren't able to clear recently during these energies that offered all this abundance and clearing for any reason, you'll have another 40 days and 40 nights of working with a high vibrational spiritual guide who can help you do that and can guide you right on into it and get you on your own individual soul path and journey, help you with your twin flame union, help you with your godly experience and your sovereign soul experience, whatever the case, whatever you are experiencing. This is guidance for all star seeds, light workers, and anybody who needs to get on the healing and high frequency journey and raise the vibration and see changes in their life. So you get the oils and you get the products, you contribute to the challenge. It starts November 1st. You receive your products in the mail, which are shipped straight to you. You can order them through me, they're shipped straight to you. You do have to spend at least $269. This is majority going to be on products. You're going to get a Synergy kit. I called them Synergy kits, but it's a doTERRA kit. Or you have to spend $150 in products. And then you have to make a contribution to the Synergy Challenge. So by the time you spend $150 in products and you make a contribution, it's generally been around $259 to $269 that people end up spending for the Synergy Challenge. Because you pay the first 10 days, or you pay halfway through and then you pay again for the second half. So if you got your fill through the first half, you don't have to contribute anything for the second half and be a part of the second half. But if you want to be a part of the second half and complete the full 40 days, you make another contribution, but you never spend over $269 because my work from my ministry never exceeds $269, and most people generally only spend about $200 on products. So that's what it averages out to, and it varies. So you just get your products, contribute to the challenge. And you don't have to be a part of the challenge. You can just get your products and then get free 101 guidance that I provide. You can get your free consultation and just get your products and be on your merry way. Or you can say, yes, I want to be a part of this energy challenge. I want to get more in alignment. This sounds fun. I want to work with you some more. I like your guidance. I want to hear more about your ministry. I want to hear more about this light language, twin flame, soulmates. What's all this? What's all that? It's all very interesting to me. Maybe you want to learn more about crystals. Maybe you want to learn more about these spiritual tools. Maybe that's what you need guidance on. It just all depends. Everybody, like I said, is at a different place in their journey. So this synergy challenge is basically for anyone. Can be for anyone, and you're going to meet other people. You're going to have good experiences. We're going to do giveaways. We're going to do fun events and fun free posts and all kinds of cool stuff. It's going to be very expansive. It's not going to let you down. And it can even spill over from 40 days to where you just really had a good experience. You really like me, I really like you, or you really like my pages and my groups and the things that I have to offer, or you like the people that you met, and just whatever, it just can turn into whatever. It's a pretty free spirited experience. That's one of the reasons that it's so synergistic. It's aligned to Gaia. It offers the energy that I have to bring, and it's going to help you expand yourself. It's going to help you. It's going to help you with everything that I mentioned, all of the soul work. You might even find yourself right in a manifested union or right in physical union or coming into deeper union. I help people like this all the time. It's not outside of my reach. It is part of what I do. It is. I work with divine masculines, divine feminines, healers, teachers, twin flames. I work with people who need healer. I work with spiritual entrepreneurs. I work with other entrepreneurs. I work with anybody who's on the religious spiritual journey who we resonate together. I just work with various people all the time. But this is, like I said in this video, this is mostly for the people who are learning about grounded. It's mostly for sensitives, old souls, star seeds, and twin flames, okay? It's going to resonate to those people the most. This isn't something just anybody's going to be like, yeah, I want to be a part of this. Like, are already on a spiritual journey, and maybe you've gotten off the journey. Maybe you just gotten on the journey. You want to learn more. Maybe you're just in a funk. Maybe you just want to learn about the oils. Maybe you just want to work with me. It doesn't matter. This is a way to do that. This is a way to get in alignment, have some beautiful spiritual experiences through the holiday season. I'm excited. I've already gotten a handful of people. Try not to exceed 10 or 12 people, so there's still some slots open if you want to be a part of my Synergy Challenge, okay? So I'm going to end this video. I have some other things to go and do. Thank you for listening. If you want to work with me, need a personal reading, you need a session, you need to know some more information, you want to know more about what I offer, check the details. You can also email me, Carla H4040. I have to offer. I love you all weekend. Come back and see me.